Good morning, Texoma. I'm Ashley FITZWATER. Thanks for joining us for Inside Texoma. This morning, we're taking an inside look at the Dutchess at the Forum. It's a new coffee, tea, lunchroom that's truly designed for Wichita Falls to meet a bit of Europe. And joining me now to talk about just that is Helene Idema and Helen BEENHAKKER, and I appreciate both of you taking time today to be here. And there's actually 4 ladies who head up Dutchess at the Forum, and you know, like we mentioned, this is all taking place at the Women's Forum, and I got the wonderful opportunity to go to the grand opening, the kickoff event, and I have to say it is so nice and just such a neat part, I think, of now Texoma. So we're excited today to talk about this, and both of you, the founders and the owners of Dutchess at the Forum. So before we get too much into that, because I know that's, of course, the most exciting part about this, but I'd like to just, I'm sure many are interested, well, what brought you to Texoma, you know, and then what made you want to open this restaurant? So it's actually Shepherd Air Force Base is kind of the connection, right, I understand, and your husbands both stationed out here. So if we can just, maybe if you could just share a little bit about your story, and this is actually both of their second times to live in Wichita Falls. So that speaks highly of Texoma. You both enjoy Wichita Falls in this area and now call it home. So that's a high honor as well. Right. If you could just maybe start with your story a little bit and your husband and your family and you know, what brought you here?
Yeah, well, I came here in April last year, and I met Ellen, and she already had plans, and we started talking and you know, following up ideas, and we were both missing a nice place to have a coffee in a relaxed atmosphere. And also, we know people that would like to do something for NJEP and for the community of Wichita Falls. So all these ideas came together somehow, and we said, you know, why don't we start a place ourselves? So it started with the idea, then we started looking for a place, and it was, of course, very, very difficult. And because this is something we do for fun, mainly. And we looked at several commercial places, but you know, they were all too expensive. And finally, we made contact with the forum, the Women's Forum, and the camp center. And we started talking to people over there. And well, after several meetings, and also, of course, presenting our plans to the board and to different boards, the final word came out that they would like to have us over there. And I think it's a wonderful place to be.
Absolutely. It's a big piece of history and, you know, part of this community. So I think it's a great place as well. And how's the transformation, you know, really been going in there and, you know, getting to open up your own place for Texoma to come to and be a part of?
Yeah, well, it was exciting. That's we started with the idea to create a place where, the way we call it, Wichita Falls meets Europe. And so with everything we did was thinking, is this European? Not specifically Dutch, although we are from the Netherlands, so we are Dutch, and that's why we are called Dutchess at the Forum. But also, is it European? So that goes with the food, the way we serve the food, and also with the decorations. So that's how we did it.
I think that's interesting because, you know, believe it or not, you had said there's a big difference. You know, the first time you went out to eat here in Texoma, completely different than it is at home. So what are some of those differences? I know I'm curious, and the rest of Texoma's just curious to know, you know, what the big differences are.
Well, I think it's just funny, and I see when we have friends over from the Netherlands right now, I see the same look on their faces. For example, you start over here with the salad, and I always miss my knife, because we use a knife and fork. That's one of the things. Then they take it, and my knife is gone when the dinner is coming. Then they have all these questions. I mean, you finally know what you want to order, and then they ask you, what sides? Sides? Okay, what would you like to have next to your meat? And a lot of questions. What kind of dressing you like on your salad? So it's fun because in the beginning you don't understand what they are talking about.
Sure. A lot of options, huh? Which I have to admit, at times can be overwhelming. You know, it takes 30 minutes sometimes to order your meal because you're looking at all the sides and different things.
Yeah.
So when you would go to a restaurant then, or would it just be kind of different choices and they come with those sides and there's no switching it up basically, and whatever the dressing is, that's the dressing that you get with the salad? And
because the dressing fits the kind of salad.
Sure.
So every salad has its own dressing that is best tasting, you know, for that salad. And something else is funny with the coffee. If you go to a coffee place in Holland, there's one size for cappuccino.
Oh.
And we don't start like here when you go to a coffee place, like I have a tall, non-fat, double shot, you know.
The grande, yes, sure.
The first time I heard that, you know, I think it was at Starbucks, I was thinking, what are they ordering? And then more surprising, what are they getting?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
I'm not a big, you know, as far as all those different options, so I'm kind of confused there as well. But you're right, there's so many different choices. I think that would make it a little simple, you know, if you just had X, Y, Z, you know, you just pick. There's these options. So these are things, though, that are being incorporated into Dutchess at the Forum, of course, just the different types of food and the atmosphere, and it's so exciting, and they're going to share much more about what you can expect, you know, whenever you go and check this place out, because it's something you definitely want to do, and we're going to talk about that right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we are talking about the Dutchess at the Forum, and Ellen and Helene are both here today explaining just what you can expect. And Ellen, if you could just kind of start, you know, if ladies or, you know, even their husbands are looking for a place to kind of go during the middle of the week, because it's open a couple days during the week. I guess we should first start there. Yes. What are the hours and the days that Dutchess at the Forum is open?
Okay, well, we are open on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 8:30 in the morning till 2 o'clock. We are open for coffee, hot tea, pastries and lunch. Many people ask me why so early in the morning at 8:30. Well, that's because of our habit that we drink coffee in the morning. Coffee, and if we have a reason to celebrate a little thing, and we can always find that one, then we can have a little pastry to go with it. So in Europe, and especially in the Netherlands, we have breakfast at home, then start working, and then around 10 o'clock we gather with friends or people you work with and drink coffee and have a little sweet to go with that. So we thought, well, maybe there are some moms who bring their kids to school and would like to have some coffee, and that's why we opened up so early, 8:30, for coffee or meetings. I think it's a very great place also to have a little meeting so it's not only for women, it's always, everyone is welcome. And especially, I think it's a historical building, and you can feel that when you enter the room. The carpet on the floor gives the acoustic is very good. There's not a lot of noise. It's a very relaxing atmosphere. We don't have Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi, how you call it?
Yes, Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. That's a really definite choice of us, because we don't want to have people behind their computer and just work, but we want people to interact.
And I love that. This is a place, like you said, not just to maybe come in there and expect to be left alone, expect to interact and come to meet people. I know you had talked a little bit about that as well. So, you know, and it's so interesting, because you're right, in the world today, it seems you walk in a place and you can be eating dinner with someone and never even talk to that person. So what a great thing. And early in the morning, you said, so the pastries and the coffee, are there different types of coffee and hot tea and different things, or? And I know you're the one in the kitchen cooking it all up, so maybe you can share a little bit more about.
Ellen is responsible for the coffees. I think I should mention two things about our coffee. First of all, they are served in a normal cup, not in a paper cup, but in a normal cup. And we serve lattes, and they are served in a glass, so that you get the 3 different layers, and it looks really beautiful, and everybody loves it. And then the pastries, they are all European. So sometimes, you know, like this week we will serve Swiss, it's called Rübli Torte. It's a Swiss carrot cake.
Oh.
But it's very different from the American one. So sometimes you'll think, oh, I know this dish, but it will be, you know, it will have a European touch to it. So we're trying to find and to, for all our menu items, to have something that's special, that's European. Just, you know, to get Texas people, you know, in touch with a different flavor sometimes, or a different appearance. And it's all, you know, maybe smaller portions, but more elegant. And that's what we are trying to achieve, so that people come in and say, well, this is really different, but I like it.
Sure. And I love that because, you know, many people may not ever get the chance to visit, you know, the Netherlands or take a trip across the sea, you know, anything. I mean, this may be as far as many ever, you know, travel, maybe to Oklahoma or across the border or something, but not have the chance or the opportunity. So what a great place to try new things, and you're doing it, you know, 5 minutes from your home, 10 minutes from your home, or even, you know, 30 minutes, because of course the entire Texoma viewing area is invited to encouraged to come out and try this out. So I love that. And whenever you're moving on then to lunch, because, you know, you said you're open 8:30 in the morning up until lunch, when does that transition begin? And then maybe you can kind of go into the lunch menu as well.
No, around 11 we start serving lunch. And well, menu items are, for example, a soup. We have a soup that's changing weekly. And of course, there again, we try to make something different. And we have little open sandwiches, which are called smooshies. It's from Denmark, actually. It's a combination word of smørrebrød, which is an open sandwich in Denmark, in a sushi size. So that's how the word smooshie came up. So we're serving smooshies. And because they're small, you can mix and match. So instead of having one big sandwich, you can have like 3 or 4 different ones.
And not feel bad about it, because they're small, right?
Yeah. And well, a salad, of course, and then our sweets. And we also make toasties. And that's ham and cheese grilled sandwich, but the Dutch way, which means that the cheese is sealed in the sandwich so that it doesn't run out. Oh. You have like a pocket with ham and cheese and in it.
So the entire sandwich is sealed up with the ham and cheese inside of it. That's pretty nice.
So we have, I think we have interesting menu items. And of course we are trying to change it on a regular basis so that you don't find always the same salad or the same thing on the menu. It's small menu but changing, so that, you know, people find something different every time they come in.
Sure, there's a reason to keep coming every single week and trying out what you have.
And we love cooking, so it's more interesting to make different things than to, you know, to have the same all the time.
Absolutely. So how do you come up with these menu ideas? Is this stuff that maybe you learned as a child growing up, or are these just favorite things that, you know, when you would go out to eat at home, that, you know, this is the stuff you would like, or maybe the other ladies that you work with recommend? How do you come up with all this?
Well, I think we all come up with ideas. The toasty was Ellen's idea. Because her son loves toasties.
Yes, my son adores toasties. But I have to say, Helene is also a dietitian, so she's always looking for healthy food as well. And she likes to cook, so she can really, she's creative to come up with something new. So I have to say that she's the one who is thinking of everything about the menu. Yes.
Well, I love that, and you know what? That's encouraging to know that this food is not only good, it's something new and different to try, but hey, it's healthy for you. So we are just rounding it all out and hitting all the high points there.
And fresh prepared, so by order, and that means that it sometimes takes a little bit longer because, well, you're used over here to get everything very fast. It's because a little bit longer because everything is freshly prepared.
Right, whenever it's ordered, that's when you begin making it from scratch.
So our soups are from scratch. There's no can in there.
Oh, I love this. Well, we have so much more to talk about. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more on Inside Texoma.